Jack provides protection, Nick goes rogue, and Jill and Lily unite. The Young and the Restless spoilers for October 9th, 2025, have been released. Fans can anticipate that Jill Abbott and Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, will confront Kane Ashby in the following episode. Peter Bergman's Jack Abbott works to safeguard his family's interests. Additionally, Joshua Morrow's Nick Newman goes rogue. Let's talk about what's coming up in the CBS soap opera after you finish reading. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Victor Newman's bombshell. Let's start off with Jill, who learned some shocking information about Kane from Victor Newman. The Newman family was assured by Jill that they didn't need to be concerned and that she would insist on continuing to defend Kane. The discoveries of Jill Abbott Kane's wealth came from Tristan Rogers' last con, Victor told Jill. This news seems to have shocked Jill, so she wants to talk about it with Kane herself to get the whole story. However, the look on her face suggests that she is furious. Read more, find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Lily Winters' confrontation. According to the spoilers for Thursday, October 9th of The Young and the Restless, Kane will confront more than just Jill. It would appear that Kane will also encounter Lily, who will also be seeking the truth. Kane seems to be succumbing to all of his sins. Read, The Young and the Restless spoilers, Mariah's gone missing and Tessa's Boston Clinic surprise tomorrow, October 9th, 2025. Fans will also see Jack work to safeguard the interests of his family in the following episode. The family is deeply concerned because the legacy left by John Abbott is in jeopardy. Therefore, what will be his next move? Nick, on the other hand, ends up going rogue. Nick was attempting to persuade Michelle Stafford, Phyllis Summers, to break her alliance with Kane. However, Red told him that not everyone gets handed fortune and a company to run just for existing. Some people have to actually work for it, so that was Phyllis' justification. So, will Nick going rogue have something to do with this? Or, could it be about Mariah Copeland, or even Noah Newman? Take a look at this. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Tara Locke's return could completely alter Harrison's world. Regarding Noah, Nick and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, are scheduled to meet their son in Los Angeles. Sharon was encouraged by Nick to travel without him. Nick might end up in some hot water if she does that. Fans can anticipate that Victoria Newman, Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and Claire Grace Newman will all end up in the big city, as well as Noah, Nick, and Sharon. The episode begins with a raged Jill Abbott pacing in her Chancellor Winters' office, rehearsing Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, words like a haunting refrain in her mind. Victor, never one to sugarcoat a situation when it benefits his strategy, had just dropped a bombshell that could devastate Jill's trust in Kane forever. He revealed that, contrary to what Kane had claimed, Kane's recent wealth and influence were the lingering shadow of Colin Atkinson's, Tristan Rogers, last con, a dirty fortune that could implicate anyone who benefited from it. Jill, who has always prided herself on being able to see through deception, is shaken to the core by the thought that she may have been defending a man whose empire is built on lies. Despite her bravado, Jill once cared deeply for Kane and even considered him a member of her family. Her fury is palpable, but so is her hurt. She spirals into disbelief and rage at the thought that he might have played her and manipulated her loyalty for his own benefit. She vows to get the truth directly from Kane, no intermediaries, no excuses. She plans to get every possible response in her explosive next confrontation. However, Kane, being Kane, is difficult to corner. He's in the middle of damage control of his own, already aware that Victor's whisper campaign is spreading. The tension is unbearable when Lily Winters storms into his office later in the day. Lily looks at her ex-husband with a mixture of anger and sadness because she has worked so hard to rebuild her career, her business, and her sense of peace. Their connection cannot be denied, but neither can the hurt of being betrayed, which keeps surfacing time and time again. Lily demands to know whether it's true. Did he really use his father's stolen fortune to bankroll his new ventures, to manipulate his way back into Genoa City's elite? Kane's usual charm and excuses fall flat this time. Lily is too experienced and shrewd to believe half-truths. Her voice breaks as she accuses him of jeopardizing everything she and Jill have worked to build at Chancellor Winters. Kane makes an effort to make his point by arguing that his father's final con wasn't what it appeared to be, that he was attempting to right a wrong, and that he was trying to make something honest out of something bad. But Lily's patience runs out. She tells him that redemption can't come from deceit, and if he's truly the man he claims to be, he'll come clean to everyone before Victor uses this to destroy them all. Jill, on the other hand, isn't content to wait for Kane to tell the story. In true Jill Abbott fashion, she digs deeper, calling in old contacts, pulling financial reports, and cross-referencing transactions with a sharp businesswoman's eye. What she finds only reinforces her worst fears: money laundering, shell corporations, and links to Colin's offshore accounts that tie directly to Kane's newest venture. Jill's heart hardens as she realizes that Victor may have been right all along. She is aware that the patriarch of the Newman family does not share information out of goodwill. There is always a reason and a move behind the move. If Victor's exposing Kane, it's not just to warn her, it's to weaken her. Even if it means destroying a few bridges to safeguard her own position, Jill makes a solemn promise not to let Victor win this game. When she and Lily finally cross paths later that day, the two women are on the same page for once. The kind of mother-daughter-in-arms moment that fans haven't seen in a while will be the focus of their united and calculated confrontation with Kane. The two strong women, both hurt but determined, agree that it's time to confront Kane together. While the Chancellor Winter's world is imploding, the Abbott family faces a new kind of threat. Over at Jabot, Jack Abbott is in full defensive mode, rallying his troops as rumors circulate that Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John, and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, may be planning another corporate strike. Jack, always the protective patriarch, is able to recognize when the legacy of his family is in jeopardy. John Abbott's, Jerry Douglas, memory looms large over him, a constant reminder that being an Abbott means standing for something: integrity, loyalty, and unity, even when it's inconvenient. Jack confides in Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, who urges him to proceed carefully, especially with Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Summer Newman, Allison Lanny, caught up in their own messy war. Jack calls a family gathering at the mansion as his protective instincts go into overdrive. He warns his relatives there that they will be torn apart piece by piece if they don't stand together. His speech is passionate and brimming with the same familiar Jack fire that has sustained the family through decades of corporate conflict and personal heartbreak. Viewers will see the weight of leadership etched into Jack's face as he vows to do whatever it takes to preserve his father's legacy, even if it means making morally grey decisions of his own. Back across town, Nick Newman finds himself spinning out of control. Nick's patience has run out after his most recent heated argument with Michelle Stafford's Phyllis Summers. He tried reasoning with her, pleading with her to walk away from Kane and the risky alliance that's been brewing between them. But Phyllis, never one to be intimidated by a Newman man, fires back with venomous honesty. She tells Nick that he's had everything handed to him his entire life: his family name, his wealth, his company, while she's had to fight for every inch of success. To her, aligning with Kane isn't betrayal, it's survival. Her words cut deep, leaving Nick reeling. He has attempted to distance himself from Victor's manipulative methods for years, but the Newman rage still burns deep within him. Nick becomes reckless out of frustration when Phyllis leaves. Instead of walking away, he decides to take matters into his own hands, to go rogue, just like his father might have in his younger days. Nick's version of rogue, however, may have dire consequences. Spoilers hint that he could make a business move without approval, perhaps liquidating assets or interfering with Newman media operations, putting himself at odds with not only Phyllis but also Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, and even Victor himself. The ripple effect of his actions could shake the entire Newman dynasty. Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, ever the voice of reason, senses something is off with Nick. This week, their scenes will show how complicated their relationship is because of their old love, shared pain, and unspoken worry. Sharon is preparing for her trip to Los Angeles to visit Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, and Nick encourages her to go ahead without him. However, his sudden demand that she leave the city raises questions. Sharon, always intuitive, is too familiar with Nick. She fears that whatever his planning in Genoa City could lead him down a dark path he can't easily come back from. The action is also getting heated in Los Angeles. Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, Claire Grace Newman, Haley Erin, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinle, are all set to cross paths with Noah's art gallery storyline. Victoria, who senses that Claire and Holden are developing something deeper and potentially dangerous, continues to pay attention to the growing connection between them. With so many Newmans heading to LA, there's bound to be more than just family bonding on the horizon. Could Nick's rogue behavior somehow tie into whatever business the Newmans have brewing out west? It's possible that what he does will have an effect on the family's standing in the California market. The threads between Genoa City and Los Angeles are tightening, and fans can expect these parallel storylines to collide in dramatic fashion by the end of the week. As Thursday's episode unfolds, the emotional stakes are sky high. Jill and Lily's confrontation with Kane is raw and cathartic. Kane tries one last time to explain why he did what he did. He says that his father's wrongdoings haunt him and that all he wanted to do was make things right by making something bad into something good. However, Jill does not concur. Jill delivers a scathing monologue about legacy, integrity, and betrayal in one of Jess Walton's strongest performances in a long time. She tells Kane that every time he lies, he makes fun of their family name, which she can't forgive this time. Lily, with tears in her eyes, agrees. For once, the two women are united, not just against Kane, but for their own self-respect. The scene ends with Kane standing alone, his empire crumbling and his loved ones turning their backs. Meanwhile, Jack's protective streak takes him to surprising places. He approaches Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, an old ally who has been distant ever since her disagreement with Tucker. Their reunion is tense but emotional. Ashley admits that she's tired of the constant fighting and wants to help preserve what's left of the Abbott name. They begin working together on a strategy to protect Jabbo from external dangers, even if it means outwitting Tucker at his own game. Jack's gratitude is palpable, but his worry never fades. He knows that one wrong move could cost everything his father built. In addition, Nick makes a decision in the episode's final act on Thursday that has the potential to alter everything. Fueled by frustration and desperation, he takes a drastic step that not even he fully understands yet, a move that mirrors Victor in his prime. Whether it's a secret investment, a hostile takeover, or a confrontation that gets out of hand, one thing's for sure, Nick Newman's days of playing it safe are over. As the episode closes, a storm brews over Genoa City, both literally and metaphorically. The camera lingers on Jill staring out her office window, Jack tightening his grip on a family photo, and Nick driving into the night with determination in his eyes. Each of them is about to face the consequences of their choices, and none of them will come out unscathed. Thursday's The Young and the Restless is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged episodes of the fall. The scene is set for a Friday cliffhanger that could alter Genoa City forever, with Jill and Lily joining forces against Kane, Jack fighting to defend the Abbott empire, and Nick's errant actions threatening a Newman family civil war. Secrets, schemes, and shattered loyalties, it's all coming to a head, and fans won't want to miss a second of it.